The Mac Studio is the small form factor darling of the local AI enthusiasts and hobbyist crowd, not to mention video editors, audio producers, and other creatives. With a footprint of just 59.29 square inches and a volume under 220 cubic inches, less than a gallon of water, it's a compact and ultra-efficient powerhouse. But configuring this system to be an AI or LLM crunching dynamo comes with one big question. Can you afford it? Now, there's a chip on the horizon that will allow the production of much more affordable, upgradable machines, and it's coming from an unexpected source, AMD. In this video, I'll explain why the Mac Studio, the reigning champ of small compute titans, yeah, the paradox is intentional, might soon be dethroned by AMD's upcoming silicon contender and the systems built around it. For anyone familiar with local AI setups, the first thing you probably picture is a massive test bench system or X-mining rig packed with NVIDIA 30 or even 4090s, a 21st century Borg cube comprised of silicon, PCIe riser cables and power supply cables, fans, and metal. NVIDIA still reigns supreme in AI, but for those who don't want a huge tangle of components and wires, and who happen to have deep pockets, there's the Mac Studio. A single NVIDIA 4090 runs over $2,200, while 2 or 3 3090s could cost between $1,000 and $2,200, depending on where and if you can find them. However, if you're looking for a machine that can run LLMs well enough, train AIs at a decent pace, and fits comfortably on a 24-inch by 48-inch desk and runs well within the power envelope of a single RTX 3090, plus can handle video editing and other demanding tasks, the Mac Studio is a neat, compact solution. You can configure the Studio with gobs of high-speed memory, albeit not VRAM, but be prepared to pay a premium for that convenience. As of now, a Mac Studio with a 24-core CPU, 60-core GPU, and 32-core Neural Engine M2 Ultra SoC, plus a very modest 1 terabyte of storage, will set you back about $5,600, which is a hefty investment for AI enthusiasts, tinkerers, and other sorts of users. But Apple won't be the only game in town anymore. Enter AMD. As a Linux user, I'm used to AMD being fantastic for gaming, but falling short in compute tasks. That might change, though, with AMD's upcoming Strix Halo lineup of SoCs. Sorry, APUs. These chips will feature up to 16 CPU cores, 40 RDNA 3.5 GPU cores, and an NPU, but I'll be focusing on the GPU cores here. According to leaks, AMD is adding Strix Halo support to ROCm, its open-source compute stack. That's a promising shift given AMD's less than stellar ROCm support compared to NVIDIA's CUDA dominance. AMD's Strix Halo APUs will be BGA packaged, at least initially, and likely aimed at laptops, mini PCs, or soldered onto mini ITX boards. The M2 Ultra has 60 GPU cores, rumored to be putting it around an NVIDIA RTX 3060 Ti level of performance. Rumors suggest Strix Halo might match or even surpass that tier of performance. Some say 4070 performance, but I strongly doubt this. For starters, this APU will rely on system DDR5 memory as opposed to VRAM. But while direct comparisons are tough due to architectural differences, AMD's performance could be impressive, especially for those prioritizing affordability, x86 compatibility, and upgradability over macOS. Now, some might argue that Apple's ARM-based efficiency makes the M2 Ultra unbeatable, but that becomes less relevant when an adequately equipped Mac Studio costs $5,000 or more. Though some of the tech media may hype Strix Halo as an all-in-one gaming CPU-GPU marvel, I think these APUs will be targeted to creatives, tinkerers, and professionals. I may be wrong, but I think this APU, coupled with what appears to be day one ROCm support, whose own development will require at least a decent amount of costly thought work for AMD, and the systems that it will go into, will be on the more expensive side as a result. The difference is, it won't be anywhere near Mac Studio expensive, and the AMD alternative will give the Mac Studio a run for its money in the market, because this APU is for the crowd that sees the Mac Studio as a sort of solution they want, but see the blatant Apple tax as excessive. I think it's very likely that systems utilizing Strix Halo and compete directly with the Mac Studio will end up costing, after you buy 96 or 128 gigabytes of DDR5 memory, about as much as a M4 Pro Mac Mini with maxed out RAM. In short, even if AMD's pricing isn't universally a bargain initially, it's bound to shake up the market. and push beyond what we thought was possible, signifying what will become more standard in the near future as far as APUs are concerned. And that is something to be excited about by everyone. And this APU is probably a glimpse of what's to come from AMD and its competitors.